Welcome to Outside of the Box. My name is Courtland Dixon. I go by my middle name Courtland, and this is my show where we introduce outside of the box thinking to everyday life.
Ask yourself, what you thinking about? Yeah, we can't explain that, and ain't no need to doubt, cause we ain't getting that time back. Yeah, we moving forward, got the future on locked up, when we thinking on the outside of the box. Yeah. What you thinking about? Yeah, we can't explain that, and ain't no need to doubt, cause we ain't getting that time back. Yeah, we moving forward, got the future on the outside of the box.
It's a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Outside of the Box. If you like what you hear, if you enjoy it, don't be afraid to like the video, subscribe, share it with someone who you think will also enjoy it. This week's episode is on getting started on your plans right now. Don't procrastinate, don't put it off until the right time. Get started on your plans and let it evolve as you go along. Too many times do we get started on something and then we stop it right as we started it because it's not what we thought it would look like in our heads. I was talking to my god brother and he was telling me how, proud he was that I was doing this and how much he liked what I was doing with this show. And he told me, don't disappear and then come back in 2 months and trying to get it. Stay consistent. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay with it, because that's what we do. We have a vision for something. We have an idea, a plan. We get started on it and then we fade away from it because it's not what it looked like in our heads. But what you have to understand is that where you start is never gonna be where you finish. If you have ever played basketball, I know you've done it. You be out in the yard, in the driveway, and 3 seconds left. Courtland has the ball. He shoots it, and then you miss. You run back down, go grab the ball, come back, do it again for the 10th time because you missed it 10 times. After that first time you shoot the ball, you don't say, oh, I'm never playing basketball again because I missed. No. You had it in your mind, I'm gonna hit this shot. But then you missed it. It didn't go as you thought it would, but you got the ball back and you did it again, because that is how you're supposed to do things. You start it and you tweak it. I know I do it. I tweak it. I'll do a different move or a shot that feels more comfortable or whatever it is, because that is how you do things. You start it and you let it evolve as you go along into what you thought it would be, what it looked like in your head. So how do you evolve it, you might ask? By putting the work in. Don't sell yourself short like I was talking about last time. Watch back what you're doing. For me, I watch back these episodes a million times when I'm editing through them. I see what I did, what I liked, what I didn't like. I have my father who watches them back as well. I get feedback from, all of these different people around me, and they help me to reach the goal that I have in mind. Get like-minded people around you and let them help you out. Let them critique what you're doing. Let them help you learn as you go along, and critique yourself. I critique myself on everything that I'm doing. I'm trying to get better at basketball. I shoot my shot, and if it's not a certain way that I like it to be, I'll critique it and go back and do it a different way. My father always says, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. He's been telling me that since I was 5 years old, all of us. And it is very true. It's nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You gotta put the work in. I see where I'm going to be in 5 years. I see where I want this show to be in the future, but it all starts now. It all starts with what I have right now. If I were to start this show and then stop it after 2, 3, 4 episodes, I'm never going to get to where, I have planned in my mind. But it starts here. And in 5 years, we're already right now evolving what we what we have with this show. I'm evolving and I'm doing things differently, doing things better to try and reach the goal that I have for this show, because that's how you do it. You start and you let it evolve as you go along. In acting, I do this thing called line by line breakdown. You go, this is exactly what it sounds like. You go line by line and you break down what you read, what's on the page. When I first started doing it, it was very simple. It was very restricted, very broad. This character feels this in this moment. This is what he means when he says this. You know, it was very, very broad. And it wasn't really doing the trick for me. You know, I wasn't putting out the performances that I thought I should have been putting out. But I didn't stop. I let it evolve as I go along. I got with a friend of mine and he helped me evolve as I went along every single week going to that class. And now, after 3 years, when I do those line by line breakdowns, they are very elaborate. They are very long. I can write a whole page of notes about one line because I stuck with what I was doing and I got better as I went along. And you can do it as well with whatever you're doing, because that is what we're supposed to do. You start something and evolve as you go along. Writers, authors, they don't write a story in one day, in 2 sittings, 3 sittings. Listen, as a writer myself, I can tell you, you write something and you're like, oh yeah, that's good. You come back to it the next day, you're like, that is probably the worst thing I've ever read, the worst thing I've ever written. You rewrite it, you tweak it, and you do that over and over and over and over again until you finally get it to where what you thought in your mind, it comes out how you thought it did in your mind, because you started and you evolve as you go along. You evolve as you get better. That's what we all have the potential to do. That is how you get better with things. And I wanted to make sure I got this message out because it was super important to me. All right, thank you for tuning in. If you like what you heard, don't be afraid to like it, subscribe it, share it with someone else who you think will also like it as well. Tune in for the next one. This is Daniel Courtland Dixon signing out. Peace.
Ask yourself, what you thinking about? Yeah, we can't expand that, and ain't no need to doubt, cause we ain't getting that time back. Yeah, we moving forward, got the future on locked up, when we thinking on the outside of the box. Yeah. What you